"Can you turn this thing off?" Quinn said in his head. "Of course, but I thought you would like this," the system replied. "Of course I do, but if it's like this, she won't really like me. It's just because of the system." Charm stat deactivated. Suddenly, Layla no longer had the urge. "Are you okay? What happened?" she asked. While no one else was in the office, Quinn proceeded to tell Layla everything that happened in the portal world. "I'm sorry I wasn't there," she said. "I said I would help you, but I couldn't." "Hey, don't worry about it," Quinn replied. "I wasn't expecting anyone to jump in after me. That's practically suicide." "He did," Layla mumbled just quite enough so Quinn couldn't understand what she said. For some reason, she felt like Vorden had one-upped her on the loyalty scale. "Just remember, if you need any blood, you can call me. You don't have to really be on Vorden," she said as she rushed out of the doctor's office. It was a nice feeling to have people worry about him. For the first time in his life, Quinn truly felt like he had friends. After Haley had given Quinn the all-okay to leave the office, he finally returned to his dorm room. Inside, Vorden was playing busy on a handheld device. "Hey man, is everything all okay?" Vorden asked. "They didn't find out you were a..." He looked around the room before finishing the last words. "Vampire, did they?" "Yeah, everything was fine. She said she could find nothing wrong with me, and my blood levels were normal, so she sent me back." As the two of them were talking away, a beep sound was heard from the door, indicating that it had been unlocked. The door opened, and in came Peter. "Guys," Peter started to say with his eyes watering up. "Get out!" Vorden shouted as he pointed at the door. "What?" "I said get out!" Vorden shouted again. "If you don't get out, Peter, I don't know what I will do to you." "But this is my room as well," he cried. "I don't care. Ask them to change rooms, but you are not staying here." Peter then looked to Quinn for help, hoping he would say something, but Quinn just turned his head away as his body was shaking. Vorden then went to his desk and grabbed a book, chucking it toward Peter, hitting the wall and falling onto the ground. "The next one is going for your face if you don't leave," said Vorden. "Peter, please just go," Quinn said. When Quinn spoke those words, it finally hit him. There was no redemption for him. No matter what he said or did, or even why, they had made up their minds. He was no longer their friend. He opened the door and closed it behind him as he left. With nowhere to go and no one to rely on, he stayed in the dorm room hallway, curled up into a ball on the ground, and cried himself to sleep. The next day, when the two woke up in their beds, they could hear commotion going on outside. As they opened the door, they could see a group had gathered just outside their room, and they were all circling around him. "What happened to him? Look, the floors are wet underneath. Did he cry himself to sleep outside? I thought I could hear something last night." A boy from the group then knelt down and grabbed Peter by the hair, lifting his head off the ground and waking him up. "So, it was you that was waking me up in the middle of the night," the boy said. Before deciding to do anything, the boy looked at Peter's watch and noticed he was a level 1. The boy himself was only a level 2. So he took this chance to show everyone he wasn't at the bottom of the food chain. "If you're going to stay out here like a dog, then you need to learn to shut up," he said as he lifted his hand and slapped Peter across the face. Peter was already defeated at this point. He didn't care what happened to him. What were a few slaps? This pain was nothing. What was the point of fighting back? He would only get hurt more. The only people who had bothered to help him in the past, he had tried to kill them. This is what Peter wanted. He wanted to be punished for his actions. As the boy lifted his hand to slap Peter again, he felt something grab his wrist. Then, before the boy could even turn his head, he saw a fist right in front of his eyes. The punch was so powerful, the sound of his jaw cracking could be heard, and the boy immediately was knocked out and collapsed to the ground. As Peter looked up through his watery vision, he could see Quinn standing there with a look of anger on his face. "I didn't do that for you," he said. "If anyone was treating someone like a piece of shit like that, I would have done the same." Without even looking at Peter, Quinn walked off with Vorden and headed to the canteen. After breakfast, the group was to go to their homeroom class for the usual morning lesson, before heading to combat classes. Everyone sat in their usual seats, which meant that Vorden and Quinn were sat next to each other with Peter on the side. "They really did come back. I heard they got pushed into a portal by some second year. It's amazing they managed to survive." All of the students were talking about the two who had gone missing for a few days. It wasn't the talk around the school, but was talked about frequently in Dell's class, since the students belonged to their class. Good morning, everyone. Now that everything's back to normal again, I am proud to announce that your first portal outing date has been confirmed and will now be moved to next week. So please prepare yourselves as best you can. Oh, and remember to practice with your teammates. The same teams that were registered before will be used for this outing. This meant that Peter would be on the same team as the others.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.